The Battle of Cape Esperance was a naval engagement fought between October 11 to 12, 1942, off the coast of Guadalcanal, during the Solomon Islands campaign in the Pacific War. This battle was part of the larger struggle for control of the Solomon Islands and the crucial airfield at Henderson Field on Guadalcanal. It marked a significant victory for the United States Navy over the Imperial Japanese Navy, disrupting Japanese efforts to reinforce their forces on Guadalcanal and supporting the Allied defense of the island. Strategic context. Following the Battle of Savo Island in August 1942, the Japanese continued to send reinforcements to Guadalcanal in an effort to retake the island from U.S. Marines. The Japanese Navy used nighttime naval battles as a means to transport troops and resupply their forces on Guadalcanal. To counter these efforts, the U.S. Navy sought to intercept and destroy Japanese naval forces while also providing support for the Allied forces defending Guadalcanal. In early October, the Japanese launched another attempt to reinforce their forces on Guadalcanal, sending a convoy of warships to the island. In response, the U.S. Navy's Task Force 64, led by Rear Admiral Walden L. Ainsworth, was dispatched to intercept and disrupt the Japanese reinforcement effort. The battle. On the night of October 11, 1942, the U.S. Navy engaged the Japanese task force, which included the heavy cruiser Jinsu, the light cruiser Tenryu, and several destroyers. The battle began with a U.S. Navy cruiser force encountering the Japanese ships off the coast of Guadalcanal, near Cape Esperance, a promontory on the western side of the island. During the engagement, the U.S. Navy successfully used its radar and superior night fighting tactics to surprise the Japanese fleet. The USS San Francisco, USS Boise, and USS Helena launched well-coordinated attacks, hitting several of the Japanese vessels. The Japanese, caught off guard by the American assault, suffered heavy losses. The battle was marked by the successful sinking of the Japanese heavy cruiser Jinsu, which was the largest Japanese ship lost during the battle. The USS Boise and USS Helena also sustained damage, but the Americans managed to inflict more damage on the Japanese than they took. The Japanese forces, unable to regroup and continue their mission, withdrew from the area. Outcome and significance. The Battle of Cape Esperance was a clear victory for the United States Navy. It disrupted the Japanese reinforcement efforts to Guadalcanal, preventing the arrival of critical reinforcements and supplies. The Japanese lost a valuable cruiser, the Jinsu, and several other ships sustained significant damage. The Americans, though not without their own casualties, successfully denied the Japanese the ability to strengthen their position on Guadalcanal at a crucial moment in the battle for the island. The victory at Cape Esperance also boosted U.S. morale, following the earlier defeats at Savo Island and the Battle of the Eastern Solomons. It was an important step in the broader Pacific campaign, as the U.S. Navy demonstrated its ability to fight effectively at night and successfully engage Japanese naval forces. This victory was a precursor to the Battle of Santa Cruz Islands later in October 1942, and it helped lay the groundwork for the eventual Japanese retreat from Guadalcanal. The battle also marked the beginning of a more aggressive and effective U.S. naval strategy in the Pacific, which would continue to disrupt Japanese operations and pave the way for Allied offensives in the Pacific theater. The Battle of Cape Esperance was one of the early victories in a series of naval engagements that would lead to the eventual Allied success in the Solomon Islands campaign. It demonstrated the U.S. Navy's increasing proficiency in naval warfare and marked a significant step in reversing Japan's dominance in the Pacific. This victory was an important chapter in the Guadalcanal campaign, contributing to the growing momentum of the Allied push in the Pacific during 1942.